Hey, Hamza here and welcome to the channel. You certainly have some questions about what the Elementor page builder is and how you can use it in your web project. Now in this video I want to share with you some Elementor basics that you can implement right away when you start using Elementor and how you can actually get started using the Elementor page builder. One of the most interesting facts about Elementor is that you don't need to have any coding knowledge to use this page builder to build up websites. Like I built up my personal website and many other web projects that I've come to work on using this amazing page builder, which I think you'll also find amazing in some of your web projects. So let's dive straight into the video and I show you exactly how you can get started using this amazing page builder called Elementor. Enjoy the video. So when we move over straight to the features of Elementor, here they actually talk about the drag and drop page builder. Yes, this is a live drag and drop page builder whereby you simply just have to drag a widget from the widgets area to your canvas and you can simply customize it to any way that you want in your WordPress website. And if you are concerned about website responsiveness on mobile devices, Elementor can absolutely give you amazing results for responsive devices. So when we head over straight here to the pricing page of Elementor, you see that it actually has 4 packages. There is a first package which is actually free. This is a free version of Elementor that you can get started with and you'll have about 30 basic widgets that you can use in the free version of Elementor to build up your website without actually paying any single coin for this page builder. Now on the other hand, Elementor has the Pro package. Now this package comes up bundled with more advanced features or widgets that you can use in your Elementor website. For example, on the other hand, you have one package whereby it will help you to activate only 1 license and the other package will help you to activate 3 licenses and also the other package that will allow you to activate over 1,000 licenses. And when you look into the features of the Pro version of Elementor, besides the fact that you'll be needing a certain amount of licenses to activate on a specific number of websites, the other features will be the same. For example, the 50 plus Pro widgets, a number of website templates, a theme builder, a WooCommerce builder, a pop-up builder, and support for 1 year, and of course updates. Now this applies on all the other packages. Now those are the 2 versions of Elementor I was telling you about, the free version and the Pro version. When you look down here on the features of the Pro versus the free features, you see that you will have the 30 basic widgets both in the free version and the Pro version of Elementor, and then the 50 plus advanced widgets, those will be only in the Pro version of Elementor. And then of course there is a theme builder which I'm actually going to show you how that works like. On the other hand, Elementor is also bundled with a pop-up builder which you can also use in your digital marketing efforts, still built into this one single page builder. And in case you want to put up an e-commerce website, well, Elementor will enable you to build up your e-shop and customize it perfectly well for your clients and also for your products that you'll be selling. And then the other amazing feature that is now bundled up in Elementor is the dynamic content. And of course you'll also be able to integrate some motion effects, parallax and mouse over effects in your Elementor website. And of course these features are only in the Pro version, just like you see over here. Now before we go any further, let me just take you straight to my blog and I show you how I managed to build up a couple of things using this amazing page builder. Now for example, when you come over here on my home page, you see that I built up my header just like this, my navigation, my hero section, and of course I also added an opt-in form right over here whereby people can easily subscribe to my newsletter. I added a search widget over here, added another hero section, and of course I managed to add some videos also from my YouTube channel right to show up here on my website. I could manage to build up a footer just like this. And one thing I have to mention is that the header and the footer in this case are showing up on the entire website, and I managed to build up everything right over here using the Elementor theme builder that is only available in the Pro version of Elementor. Now when we head over straight to the page that is called blog, now this is like the blog archive. Now the blog archive basically lists up all the available blog posts on your website. For example, just like this over here. So I have all these blog posts on my website, and for example, if I go to like page 5 over here, you see that I still have my blog post showing up over here with nice thumbnails and of course a nice looking sidebar just like this. And this is all possible when you use Elementor and you can build up straight up everything. And of course if I open up any of these blog posts, you see that it shows up like a single blog post. You can add a number of things. For example, you can add breadcrumbs, you can add the title, thumbnails, and then the website content itself. You can also embed videos right within here, still using the Elementor page builder to build up your single blog post templates. And when you build up this template, the other times what you simply have to do is to go into your WordPress editor, publish content, and once your content is published, it will show up in the Elementor layout or template that you already pre-designed. So just like this over here, you can add a number of other related blog posts just over here. You can add an opt-in form over here. You can then add an author description just over down here, and a lot more. And of course, you can create forms using Elementor or contact forms using Elementor and have them embedded on your website, whereby visitors can easily come and write to you straight. So maybe now you have questions. Can I create category pages? Yes, you can create category templates using Elementor, and then you can have them showcased on your website, just like you see up right here. These are all categories. Now when I click on a category of how-tos, all my blog posts that are belonging to that category will show up right over here. Now let's head straight into the back end of our website, and I show you how you can get started playing around with things in Elementor. Right now I'm completely at the back end of our website that I used to build up using Elementor, the free version. Now to add Elementor, the free version, you simply just come over here to plugins, and you simply just come over here and then enter in Elementor. Once it shows up over here, at the moment it has over 4 million active installations, so you simply install and activate. Once it is activated, it will show up just like this over here. Now this is the free version of Elementor. In the free version of Elementor, you can do a couple of things. For example, when I head over here to pages, all pages, I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to name this page Elementor Free, and then I will simply edit with Elementor. Now editing with Elementor will take me straight to the Elementor editor. This is where I'll be able to use the widgets and the canvases that have been provided by Elementor. Now first things first, when you head into the Elementor editor, there are things you have to know. When you come over here to the gear icon, and then you will see something called the page layout. The page layout will give you the ability to choose a canvas that you want to use. In this case, Elementor gives you two options to choose from. It gives you the Elementor canvas, the Elementor full width. The Elementor canvas will give you a blank page. You won't have anything showing up. What you can do is simply start building up everything from scratch. The beauty with Elementor Canvas is that you can use it to create things like landing pages for your marketing needs. And on the other hand, you have something called the Elementor Full Width. What the Elementor Full Width does is that it brings your already made sections like the headers and the footers, and they are displayed right over there. And now what you are simply doing is only adding the page content. The page content may include a number of things like hero sections, like your pricing tables, like your testimonials, and a lot more. So most certainly, if you're using a theme and you're using the free version of Elementor, you may have to build up your header and footer using the theme, and then you'll have to design your page contents using Elementor, the free version. So in a case whereby you're using the Elementor free version, then you'll need a theme that will enable you to create your headers and the footers. Now in this case, I'm using the Astra free theme. Now to get started adding elements or widgets to your page using Elementor, you have two of these options right here. There is a plus icon over here and the folder icon. The plus icon represents you adding a section. For example, a 1-column section, 2-column section, 3-column section, and all these other layouts. Now for example, if you choose like a 1-column section, then you can add a number of features right over here. For example, I'm going to make it to have a minimum height. So I'll simply just come over here, select the height. I'll say minimum height, and I'll give it something like that. And then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to add a widget, a heading widget. I drag it over here. Then I'll say my first website. Okay, now you have other options over here, for example, like aligning, centering it, and then like you can select the HTML tag, whether it's a heading 1, heading 2, or whatever you want. And then you can also choose a style, whether you want it to be small, medium, large, or you want to link this very text to another website. For example, if I want to link it like to my blog, gotechug.com, I simply just add the URL, and then you have options like to either open it up in a new window when someone clicks over this very section. And then when we head over to the style options, we have something called text color. We can add a color to our title. We have something called the typography. Right under here, you can choose a font family for this very title. For example, I can choose this as my font family. I can choose another, let me say PT Sans. And then I can even choose the size of my header to be either something like that or something like that. I can choose which measurements I want to use from EM, REM, or even the view width over here. So in this case, let me say I want to use the EM. I simply increase this over right here. I can choose again the weight or the font weight, maybe like to 500. or let me set to 800, something of that sort. I can further reduce this over here. You can add text transformation to uppercase, lowercase, capitalize, normal. All that goes back to exactly what you want to create. In this case, I want to leave it to be uppercase. The other thing, you can also style it up, like you can say, let it be normal, italics, or oblique, something of that sort. I want it to be normal or on default. And then you can also add some text decoration, just like this over here. Now remember, this is the title widget. There is also another widget, which is the text editor. For example, if you are going to add text to this very column or this section, I can simply just add my text widget over here, and then I can start typing my text in this section, something of that sort. I'll simply just duplicate this for demo purposes. Now there is another feature that you would be interested also in checking out. For example, we may want to add another section right within this section, so that we have two columns right within this section. Now that is called an intersection. So when I come over here to my widgets area, you see there is something called here an intersection. Remember, we are still using the free version of Elementor. So when I select over here my intersection, I can simply just drag it over here, paste it right into my other column that is within the first section or the first hero section. And now I can also come and select my text editor that I had already inserted right below here. I can right click. Now this right click is another powerful feature made in Elementor. When you right click, you have the option to duplicate a widget or a section. You can copy the section, you can paste the section. You can only also copy the section styling. For example, if this text was bold and having some really nice, amazing styling that we had applied, we can only copy the style and then we paste that style to another section. Now in this case, I'm simply going to come over here and I say duplicate, and I'm going to simply just select this widget and I drag it into this column, and I'm simply going to come and still drag this other duplicated text editor and I drag into this other column. You see now what we have? We have simply duplicated a section and now put it into two different other columns that are into an intersection. Remember, we are still working with only the very first section on our website. Now in this case, if you want your text editors to be aligned right in the middle of each column, you can simply just select that column and then come over here to the vertical align option under layout and say middle. Now the other thing that we can do is that we can also add many other things on this main section. For example, we can add a background color, we can add a gradient, we can use an image, and to do that you can simply just select that main section, come over right here to the style option, and you have all these options over here. For example, the background type, you can choose a classic background. This is the image I want to use. Insert the image, and boom, I have my image over right there. I can now scroll down here and I add something called a background overlay. So under the background overlay, I can still select and say background type. I don't want to use an image, I want to use a color. And I'll simply just add my background overlay color. And then I can still come over here on the opacity and I increase a little bit on the opacity. Something of that sort. You see how that looks like? Now, the other thing we can do is that we can add some padding on this section. For example, when I try to preview this section, you see that everything is running right to the extreme end. So we can just come over here, select our section, come to the layout. We can either reduce the width of our section, something like that, or you can simply just come over here to the advanced section and then add some padding. You see, just like this. Now, one thing I have to mention is that if you are looking into building a responsive website using Elementor, like I said earlier, you can do that perfectly well. How? There is an option right down here that says responsive mode. When you click on that, you have three options. You have the tablet mode, the mobile mode. Now, when I select the tablet mode, you see how exactly your website is going to look like on a tablet mode. When I switched on the mobile mode, you see how exactly your website is going to look like on the mobile mode. And you can still edit in that mode. For example, here my header looks too big. So what I'm going to do is simply select it. Okay. And I'm going to come here to my typography. And you see already now my size has changed to the mobile mode right here. And now I can still select my measurement, which is EM, and I can reduce my header to fit the mobile size. Something like that. And the same you can also do on all the other sections. Now what we need to do is, since now my text is too next to the edges and the border, what I can do is I can still select now the main section, and I come over here to advanced. You see still now the padding is still selecting the mobile version. I'll select the EM, and I'll simply add padding at the top, left, right, and the bottom, just like this. So I'll simply just say like a 2, something of that sort. Or a 2 is too big, I can say a 1, and then I can come right here and I say, okay, I want everything on my website to be center aligned. On mobile, I'll simply select this section. So by selecting it, I come here to the style option, and then I'll say alignment center. But since we are in the mobile responsive mode, automatically the mobile responsive mode is selected over here. So once you say center, now this change will only apply to the mobile responsive mode of your website. The same I'm going to do here for the other widget. Now in case you don't want to be moving back and forth down here to switch to another responsive mode of your website, you can simply just click on this icon and move to your tablet view. The same you can do and move on your desktop view. So now let's preview how our website is going to look like. So when I click over here on preview, boom, this is how our first hero section looks like on our website. For example, we have our title and our inner text sections. Now it looks like our image is not filling up all the other section of our website. What we can do is simply come back here to our website, and we are going to select the section where that image is, come to the style option, and you have these options right down here. For example, the position, attachment, repeat, and the size. So in this case, you can come and say position, you can have it centered. Now the other thing we can do is, for example, we can say cover up. When you say cover, then your image will cover up on the whole section. You see how that looks like. Now, in case you don't want to add like an image as your background for your section in Elementor, you can choose to use a gradient. You see now here we have gradient options. You can add a video as your background, and I've actually created several tutorials on how you can use a video as your background, how you can use a slideshow, how you can use a gradient as your background in Elementor. And talking about the slideshow option is right over here. When you select here, you can add several images to use as your background in your free Elementor website. Now once you are done making changes on your website, you can simply just click over here on publish. But if you don't want to publish your changes, you can simply just click on this arrow over here, and you can choose to save this as a draft or as a template. So in this case, let's try to save it as a template. So when I save it as a template, I'll say, let me just name it first template. Boom. When you save a template in Elementor, it means that you can reuse that template anywhere else on your Elementor website. We are going to see how that works like in a while. Once the template is saved, it will show up over here in your templates. It will show the name and the date that template it was saved. You can either preview that template and it will show up just like that, or you can even insert that template or to another section of your website. So when I close over that, and now if we choose to publish, by publishing it means that the page that we had earlier created without saving, it will be published on our website. So when we head back to our WordPress dashboard, we are going to come over here to the hamburger icon and then exit to the dashboard. And now when we go to the pages, you realize that our page called Elementor Free over here has been published 50 seconds ago, and now it is live on our website. So if I say preview, you see that we have a new page called Elementor Free. So that's how you can create pages and add sections using Elementor in the free version. So how about if you want to use a template in Elementor? So to simply use a template in Elementor, or you already created template in Elementor, it is very simple. You simply just come over here to the folder icon, click on that folder icon, and it will automatically display your templates that you have in Elementor. In this case, we are going to use our template that we have already saved. So I'll simply just insert, and over here I'll say yes to overwrite the settings, or basically to use the settings that I've been using in that template. My template shows up, and now I can still make edits on that template. For example, I can just select this. Remember that if you make changes on this template, it will not affect your earlier saved template. So in this case, I'm going to simply select this to make edits, and I say my second website, and I'm going to simply change my background color. From here, I'm going to come to the style. I'll remove the background image. I'll come to the background type, select a gradient, and I'll simply just use a gradient as my background. You see how that looks like. I can reduce a little bit on the opacity of the color, the first color, and I can also reduce the opacity of the second color. See how that looks like. I can change the angle and the location of the colors. For example, this is the angle, and now when I say update and then I come over here and I preview my page, you see that yes, my first section is over here and then my second section is over right here. Now in case you want to add things like a video, you can simply just come over here, add a section, and then you can simply just come over here to the widgets and then search for a video widget. Right here it is showing up the video widget, which is under the basics. Simply just drag that widget over here, and then you'll simply just have to select the source of your video, for example YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, self-hosted, paste over here the link, and you're good to go. Of course, there are many other options like setting it to be on autoplay, muting the audio, looping the video, and a lot more. So now when we preview or when we update our website on our preview page, you see that now we'll have our embedded video right over right here. When you head back to our Elementor editor, you have to know that yes, all these options can be customized on the tablet still and on mobile still, so that everything is perfectly responsive on mobile devices. So among the 30 widgets that we have in the free version of Elementor are these widgets right here that are indicated as basic widgets: the intersection, heading, images, video, button, Google Maps, and right down here we have the Pro widgets that are from Elementor, which are the 50+, blog posts, portfolio, gallery, form. The form widget basically enables you to create any kind of form like a contact form, a survey form, and a lot more. A login widget, navigation widget, and all these widgets right down here. Now in this case I'm using the free version of Elementor, but let me just take you straight into a website where I'm using the Pro version of Elementor. For example, in this website I have Elementor Pro activated. So to have Elementor Pro, you simply purchase it over here on Elementor, and then you have to come into your website, come to add a new plugin, and then you'll come over up here and then upload the plugin, and then you'll choose your Elementor Pro plugin, install it. Once it is installed, then it will show up over here. Activate the plugin, and then you'll have to activate your license. To activate your Elementor Pro license, you simply just come over here to Elementor, and there is something called license down there. And right over here, you can simply just add your account, and then that means you'll be able to connect your Elementor website with the Elementor Pro version. Once you have it activated, then you'll have two plugins for Elementor. You have the Elementor Free plugin and the Elementor Pro plugin. You have to note that you cannot use Elementor Pro without Elementor Free. Both of them have to be installed together. I'm going to add a new page. I'm going to name this page My ePro, and then I'm going to simply edit with Elementor. Now when I come over here to widgets, I'm going to scroll down here to the Pro widgets. I am able to simply drag and drop my widgets, or I can simply just come over here, select another widget, the pricing widget, something like that. If you don't want to use any of that, you can simply just add another section at the top. Once you add another section over here, then you can also use some templates that are also made by Elementor. Now Elementor makes some really amazing templates that you can use in your Elementor website, even if you are a free user of Elementor, or even when you're using the paid version of Elementor. Of course, if you're using the free version, you are limited on how many templates that you can use in your Elementor website. Now let me show you over here. For example, this over here is a free template that you can use. This is another free template, and all those that are Pro are basically these ones that are having something called Pro right up here in the corner. And when you scroll down here, you see that you have really amazing templates. If you want to try out like any of these, you can simply first preview that template. And in case I'm convinced to use this template in my website, I can simply just say insert, and boom, we have our Elementor template now into our Elementor page. Now that means that you can make a number of changes on your Elementor template that you have imported, like changing images and a lot more things. But one thing I have to mention is that most of these templates are 100% responsive on different devices. For example, when I change over here to the tablet, see that it's looking really nice over here. If I switch to the mobile, you see that it's still looking really nice over here. And the same for all other templates that are in the Elementor template library. So once you're happy with your changes, you can simply publish your page, and then it will be available on your website by simply clicking on publish. The other thing you have to know is that there is something called the Elementor Theme Builder. The theme builder enables you to create headers and footers for your Elementor website, and these footers or headers can be displayed on a specific section of your website or basically on the entire website of yours. So how do you do that? So you simply just come back here to your dashboard and come over here to the template sections under Elementor, and there is something called a theme builder. So the theme builder over here, you can create your headers, you can create your footers, a single page template like a blog post template or an archive template. So in this case, you can say a header over here, and then you select your template as a header, and then you can simply just give it a name and then say create. So once you have it created, Elementor also brings you a bundle of amazing templates for headers. And of course, these templates for headers are only available for people who are having Elementor Pro, because the theme builder module of Elementor is only available for people who are using the Elementor Pro. So in this case, you have all these templates over here for the header you can choose from. Let me say I'm convinced to use this one. I can simply insert it into my editor, and boom, I will have my header template right over here. Of course, you can make changes, like for example, changing the logo over right here. So in case you don't want to use the image widget to hold your logo for your website, you can simply just delete that over here and then come right here on the site. So there's a site logo widget, and add it over right there. Now this means that if you had already added your logo into your theme, it will be automatically echoed into the site logo widget that you've just added over here. So in this case, I would simply just leave it on default. In case you want to revert back to something that you've already done using still Elementor, you simply just come over here on the history icon, and then you can just revert back to any of these changes by simply selecting on any of these options right here, and then you'll be automatically reverted back. So once you are done creating your header, you have an option right down here, and that option says you can save it as a draft, and then there is also the most important option called display condition. When you click on display condition, and then you can say let this header appear on the entire website. Once I save this, it means that this header will be displayed on the whole of my website. But also there's an option of excluding, or basically adding a header for a specific page or section on your website. So let me show you how to do that. You can simply just add another condition over here and then say singular, and down here you can select pages, and over here you can select and say I want the page called ePro. Now I can even delete the first rule, and I simply select this. Now it means that this header will be only shown on the page called ePro. So once I save and close, I'm going to go to my dashboard. Once I save and close, I'm going to go to pages, and under pages I'm going to look up for my ePro page that I've already published. You see, it's already published, and then I'm going to view it. This template should come with our header, which we already created, which is just this over right here. The header has all these options over here, and it has this content right over here. So let me show you how you can customize this over here. So let me come back here to our header template. I'm going to simply delete this widget, and I'm going to simply delete this other widget. I don't need them. And I simply update. I come to my page over here. I'll simply reload. Boom, we only have our logo and our navigation on our website. And how do you add a navigation? By going to appearance, menus, and create a new menu, and under your header you simply select your header navigation widget and select your menu, the menu that you already created under menus, appearances in WordPress. We have now our header, and remember we said that this header should only appear on this page. Now let me try to go to the contact page of this website, and you'll see that it will actually display a totally different header from our website. Boom, you see, we are on the contact page and we are totally having a different header. This is because we only chose that our header is only going to work for the page called My ePro. In case you want to create a footer, you simply just come over here, exit to the dashboard. We are going to come to the theme builder, and we're going to add the new, and over here we'll select a footer, and then we're going to say demo footer. You can give it any name. Then we'll create a template, and then we're going to assign still this footer to only appear on the page that we created. So I'm simply just going to select randomly. Let me say this template over here. I'll insert it. Boom. So we have our template added over here. Of course, you can make a lot more changes, like changing colors of these buttons over here. For example, if I want to change this, I select the widget, come to the style. I'm going to say the normal color, I'm going to switch it to something like blue, and then the hover color, I'm going to change the text color to be that green, And then I'm going to change that background color to be a dark black, something like that. Once you are happy with that, then we are going to set up the display conditions for our footer. We're going to add a condition. We don't want it to be on the entire website, but we want it to appear on a singular page, and that page is under the pages, and that page is called a Pro. And then we'll simply save and close. Now that means that we will have created a footer specifically for a page called a Pro using Elementor. So when we come over here to our page called a Pro, I'm simply going to reload this. Once I reload it, I'm going now to scroll right way down here, and boom, we have our footer over right here. And when I hover over this button, you see that it even changed to the settings that we set up. So in a nutshell, that's how you can get started using Elementor, the free version, and Elementor, the Pro version. And of course, it has limitless capabilities. The one thing you have to know is that, of course, Elementor cannot work without a theme, because by default, WordPress requires you to have a theme. So you can simply install a theme. It can be a blank theme, you can be any theme from any theme provider, and then you can just build up everything using Elementor, from your headers to the page content to the footers and a lot more other options. If you don't have Elementor Pro and you decide to only use Elementor, the free version, then you have actually to get a theme that will enable you to create headers and you also create footers, and then that means you will only be able to use the Elementor free widgets to build up your website using Elementor. So in a nutshell, that's what I think you actually need to know about Elementor in case you are starting out, or in case you had questions about what this thing called Elementor really is and how you can get started using it in your WordPress website. One thing you have to know is that, like you've seen in this video, you don't need any technical skills. For as long as you can drag and drop elements and customize, well, you can get started building your website using Elementor, either the free version or the Pro version. So in case you're new to this channel, I want to tell you that I have over 300 other videos teaching you how to use Elementor, from building headers, footers, page sections, building complete websites using Elementor, building one-page websites, just like this one over here, whereby someone just clicks on one section and they are taken over to the another section, and when everything is perfectly responsive and looking really, really neat. So consider checking out other videos on the channel, and in case you have any questions about this tutorial, please let me know down in the comment box below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Have a good time and goodbye.